Sometimes a system looks stronger exactly when it has started weakening. Welcome to Force Flow Post English. That is the exact mistake many people make when they look at Pakistan today. They see new laws, more control, more pressure, more engineering, more silence, and they assume the system is becoming stronger. But the real question is not how much control has been taken. The real question is why has so much control become necessary all of a sudden? See, stability is not silence, stability is trust. And that is exactly what Pakistan has lost, a trust. For years, this model has confused fear with order. This establishment model of Pakistan. It has assumed that people are quiet, that the country is stable for the past 4 years. But silence can mean exhaustion, silence can mean helplessness, and silence can also mean people are waiting. And the problem for this system is that the old formula is no longer working, especially from international to the national. From international, you saw the war has changed. The Iran war has changed almost everything. We'll come to that. But internal problem, the hard state model, the colonial laws, the pressure tactics, the engineered political parties, the forced elections, the managed opposition, the controlled media, all of this may create temporary fear, but it cannot create legitimacy. And that is the biggest problem. The system's real guarantee was never just establishment power. It was two things. The old American power structure and it was the elite unity. It was the belief that People's Party, Noon League and the media class, the business interest and the power structure could all remain tied together because everyone had something to get. And now everything is loosening one by one. From the old power structures to the unity of these all players inside the Pakistan is shaking. You can see Pakistan People's Party is nervous because it knows if a deal or the flexibility with Imran Khan begins, its own role can change overnight. And if the deal doesn't happen, the whole over-centralization process may hurt Pakistan People's Party. The over-centralization which establishments want right now. On the other hand, Noon League is overconfident, but hollow. It has power, but not the weight. And the establishment itself is uncomfortable because it is trying to hold on old model at a time when the world around Pakistan has already changed. This is why the scandals matter now. Not because one scandal will bring down the government, not because one case will necessarily remove someone from the post, which is being demanded by the Ishaq Sahab, but because the scandals do not shake a strong system, they expose a system already shaking. When a system is confident, scandals are buried. When a system is anxious, scandals become instruments. This especially Ishaq, the Deputy Prime Minister, linked controversy that some of his relatives have some horrendous things to some two foreigners' girls. All of these sudden pressure stories, the media leaks, the noise around the resignation of the Dar Sahab, the return of the old pressure groups like TLP, all these things should not be read as an isolated event. The real question is not only what happened, the real question is who is being protected and who is being exposed and what price is being extracted after the protection is given to Dar Sahab. What do they want? I don't think so they want anything. So why will they do anything? This is not necessarily a one grand conspiracy. History is not always moved by the grand conspiracies. Sometimes it is moved by small ambitions sitting on big chairs. Plans are made, pressure is applied, files are opened, people are managed, but the result is not always what the planners imagined. Sometimes same tools used to control a system begin working against the same system itself. That is the stage Pakistan has entered. And this is why Imran Khan remains important. Not because he is perfect, but not because his government had no failures, not because he has already produced the kind of political achievement that Bhutto had produced with the Constitution of Pakistan, or the resistance is the same as People's Party during the Zia. No, none of that is. These all debates are separate. Khan is important because politics is not certified by those in power. Politics is certified by those people who vote. And Khan has the biggest vote. Khan's biggest achievement may not be governance, it is exposure of the establishment. He forced hidden system to become visible. He exposed how much Pakistan's political order has been managed from behind the curtains. He exposed the weakness of conventional media. He exposed the differences between popularity and arrangement. He exposed the limits of the fear. This is why the system cannot simply ignore him. If it talks to Khan, its own allies panic. If it does not talk to Khan, the crisis continues. That is the trap. The system wants Khan to accept the current governance model, but that is exactly what he cannot accept. And if he is ignored completely, if the Khan is ignored completely, the backlash will not disappear. It will be only return in another form. So the question is not whether Khan can be silenced. The question is whether politics can be made possible again. Because without politics, the economy will not recover. Nothing will come back. Pakistan economy does not need another slogan. It needs trust. Investors need trust. Citizens need trust. Courts need credibility. Markets need predictability. Provinces need confidence. And institutions need strength. Trust cannot be beaten into investors, citizens, courts, or markets. There are only two ways such a system can run. Either you create a political legitimacy through political stability, or you run the country through brute force and foreign money. But the second route also requires some conditions. You need a big international backing. You need economic cushion for that. You need some public acceptance. You need a system that people may dislike but still believe that the system can deliver. That was the logic some people attached to the Musharraf period. But Musharraf 2.0 is theoretically easy, logically impossible today. The establishment of 1999 and the establishment of today are not standing in the same place. The old sacred cow status has been damaged. Earlier, fear was mixed with respect. Now fear remains but the respect has eroded. And the fear alone cannot rebuild legitimacy. This is also why the idea of benevolent dictator is misunderstood in Pakistan. You do not become a benevolent dictator by first becoming unpopular, damaging the institutions, destroying the trust, and then hoping dollars will create legitimacy. Popularity comes before monopoly, not after that. So if direct control cannot work, if economy cannot be fixed without trust, if Khan cannot be erased, if allies cannot fully relax, if scandals are now producing pressure instead of discipline, then what remains? Flexibility. But flexibility will not come as a generosity, it will come as a compulsion. This is where Pakistan's internal crisis becomes dangerous because the world is not waiting for Pakistan to fix itself. The region is changing fast. America is no longer operating in the Middle East from the same position of unquestioned power. Israel is becoming more aggressive because it can feel that the old protection is weakening. Iran is no longer only resisting the old order. It is trying to organize the next one. China is watching all of this route, sports, energy, security, and influence. For decades, America used Saudi Arabia as the anchor of its Middle East order. Now China may look at the Iran as the same way, a new anchor of a new regional order. And that changes everything for Pakistan, especially a country like Pakistan, because Pakistan's geography, military relevance, nuclear status, Iran connection, Afghanistan problem, Gwadar, CPEC, China link all make it important but the problem is importance is not enough. Strategic relevance without internal order is not strength, it is exposure. Pakistan may be needed by China, it may be approached by America for the minerals, it may become relevant to Iran, various reasons, it may matter to Saudi Arabia and Turkey, it may stand in the way of Israeli ambitions, it may become the part of the new Muslim bloc and the important one. But if its own political house is broken, then every external power will use Pakistan's weakness before respecting Pakistan's strength. America will not come for charity if Washington tries to mediate between Pakistan and India, trying to loosen the Pakistan's strategic lock with China because of the India being the aggressor. China may not want open diplomacy, dependency in theory, but Pakistan's weakness and Western tilt over minerals will push Beijing to become more assertive. Iran's rise will increase Pakistan's relevance, but also increase Iran's influence in Pakistan. Afghanistan will remain a security wound. India, under the Modi's ambitions, will keep aligning with US-Israel side because changing course may be good for India in the long run, but dangerous for the Modi in short term. So Pakistan's answer cannot be blind alignment. Not with America, not with China, not with Iran, not with Saudi, not with Turkey. Pakistan's answer has to be power diplomacy. Work with everyone, depend on no one. Use geography, use military weight, use nuclear diplomacy, use regional relevance, and use all the diplomatic space you want. But do not become a rented instrument for any camp. Because in the coming world, dependency will not be protection. It will be bargaining chip in someone else's hand. This is why internal flexibility matters so much. If Pakistan opens political space, restores trust, allows real politics, repairs institutions, and reduces the hard state fantasy, then it can enter the new world order as a serious player. But if it continues with the coercion, engineered opposition, judicial control, provincial centralization, media pressure, and the fear-based governance, then Pakistan will become the weakest important country in the region. Important enough to be used, too broken to benefit from it. That is the real danger. The coming crisis is not only that Pakistan may lose something it already has, the greater loss is that Pakistan may fail to become what it could have become. So the choice is no longer between the Khan and establishment, or America or China, or democracy and technocracy. The real choice is between political flexibility and exploitability of the country's position. If Pakistan creates flexibility from inside, it can use the changing world. If it refuses, the changing world will use Pakistan.